Eu acho que só apareceu aquela opção de engenharia porque eu tenho nível suficiente de engenharia.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. I'm afraid we gotta dock your pay.
Você entender isso de errado, inspetor de segurança das naves especiais.
Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Se cuida. Eu acho que aqui é um saqueador. Tá me vendo? Achei que tem outro ali. Tá me vendo? Tá me vendo, bate.
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from? Running around in a marauder's attire. You're liable to give some people the wrong idea.
Por que você diz isso?
It's in poor taste. Dressing up like a marauder's disrespectful to all the workers that got eaten by him. Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls and low prices.
É um prazer conhecê-lo. Sou Alex Houghton, capitão do falível.
Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family.
Com quem eu converso sobre regulador de energia?
Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer?
Você está perguntando para a pessoa errada. Não tenho interesse.
Grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
Espera até você terminar.
You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just old. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll do better.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. Personification of company property is strictly contrary to the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct. My apologies. I am not in the habit of allowing my guests to witness such a row. Now, what can I do for you?
Podemos começar com as apresentações. Meu nome é Negimo.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I must say, wearing a marauder's outfit is in very poor taste. I do wish you'd show your uniform a little more respect.
Eu não trabalho para a primícias espaciais.
Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Minha nave precisa de reparos. Estou procurando um regulador de energia.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one, and I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Deixa eu adivinhar. Você quer que eu faça algo para você antes de me ajudar?
My proposition benefits the both of us. Please, hear me out. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
Me fala dessa usina geotérmica.
The geothermal plant was built by our owners, Spacer's Choice. Lit up the whole Vale once upon a time. Most of the Vale is now abandoned. All that power is going to waste.
E você quer toda essa energia passando pela sua fábrica de conservas.
We could use the power. Cannery's been struggling. If we don't ramp up productivity, the company might cut us loose.
Justo, eu acho.
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
Que surpresa, nunca teria imaginado.
I am not trying to pull one over on you, friend. You were bound to run into them sooner or later. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
Por quê?
Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations.
Delicada essa situação. Eu já vi Pontágua. Não culpo esses trabalhadores por terem ido embora.
Neither do I. The fault was entirely mine. I pushed them too hard. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
Como vou reconhecer a Adelaide?
Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership.
Esses trabalhadores devem ter deixado a cidade por motivo.
That reason was me. I asked too much and pushed too hard. But I am ready to make amends if they are willing to return to the fold. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
Não posso prometer nada.
Of course, I understand completely. Here, let me give you the passcode to the geothermal plant. A sign of good faith, for so politely listening to me as I ramble on.
Are you setting off for the Vale? Because I know my way around. I mean, in case you want a guide. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented, and may prove useful to you.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Bora.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office. Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. Can we chat? Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
Imaginei. O Reed não pareceu a pessoa mais honesta do mundo.
Oh, he ain't a liar. He believes every word he says. It's just, he doesn't always get where other folk are talking from. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
Não posso culpar ninguém por querer partir. Essa cidade tem problemas.
Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
Vicário. Acho que não fará mal a gente dar uma passada lá.
Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways. I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Blá, blá, blá. Aqui provavelmente tem cara que eu preciso encontrar.
Hey there, Mary. Don't see you around here too often.
Oh, I just came to talk to the...
Ah, você.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling? This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town?
Provavelmente queria conversar com você sobre o que Reed pediu pra gente fazer.
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do?
Cortar a energia dos desertores da Adelaide.
Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
O que você acha do grupo da Adelaide, Vigário?
They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice?
Então, o que você aconselha?
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold.
Será que isso é possível?
Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
E por que isso?
One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
Nossa, mais generosa mas passa os detalhes.
It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious?
Preciso saber um pouco mais sobre esse tal livro antes de concordar em fazer isso.
It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value, should they ever read it.
Vou procurar seu livro.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Crédito, passei de nível só pra aceitar uma quest.
I'm not allowed in here. Not since the vending machine incident. Yeah, huh?
Eu queria perguntar sobre uma coisa que você mencionou mais cedo.
You mean about the mission being too clean?
Não era pra ser limpa? É uma igreja.
I know, but Vicar says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicar sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass.
Faz sentido. Então para que conversar com ele?
The vicar's about the only soul in the Vale who spends his time thinking on what is and ain't right. It's just that when he looks at me, I feel I disappoint him.
Por que você não pode mais entrar na loja?
There was a kind of a thing with a vending machine when I was 12.
Você era criança, deve ter sido há uma eternidade.
Sure, but folks got long memories around here. I've always been good with my hands, right? So I saw a lock on the machine and thought, oh, this must be how they refill it. But I had to know. So I did my thing, and next thing I know, there's a couple hundred bottles of 0G rolling out the front door and into the road.
Ah, que legal.
It's not funny. Right about then, a bunch of loaders came rolling in the gate, fresh off the Salt tuna ships. And Mr. Thompson was up on the porch making a speech about how everyone would have to volunteer a third shift to get it all canned. Anyhow, you ever seen an autoloader run over a bottle of 0G?
Diz aí.
Exploded all over Mr. Thompson. One bottle after another as the loaders went by. I was just shy of working age, so Dad had to pay all the damages. Rose still angry at me. I can laugh about it now, but I just about puked up my guts in terror in the moment. That's the one time I ever made Mr. Thompson look a fool.
Tá, vamos voltar pro trabalho. Eu acho que o cara que ela queria conversar está por aqui. Ai, que susto do caralho.
Searching for repair bay. Error. Navigation systems failed. Unable to comply.
I could probably fix that. I mean, if you wanted me to.
Espera um segundo, não tenho certeza.
Take your time. You need help, just give a yell. Metaphorical yell. If you yell for reals, you're liable to spook them.
Você está danificado?
Damage to navigation systems detected. Attempting to return to designated repair bay. Error. Navigation systems failed.
Ah, vai nessa e conserta ele, Parvati.
Yep, I see the problem. His nav mod got dislodged. Must have taken a tumble. Just gotta give it a good push and wait for the click. There we go. Jeremy's good as new. Well, new by Spacer's Choice standards anyhow. His name's Jeremy, by the way.
Navigation systems operational. Optimal path toward repair bay detected. Initiating self-diagnostics.
Parvati, por que você deu nome ao mecanoide?
On account I fixed him. And he's Jeremy on account of his helmet. It's like Jeremy, the officer in True Romantic Tales of the Space Guard.
Isso é uma série de ondas de éter ou coisa assim?
Surely. I make a point to watch every Tuesday night. Be more careful out there, Jeremy.
Self-diagnostics initiated. Please do not disturb.
Something you need?
Percebi que você fala muito de seu pai, mas não da sua mãe.
That's on account of how I never met her.
Ela morreu?
She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception.
What?
So when I was born, I got sent here.
Isso aí é normal?
Could be. Reckon I'll never know.
Eu queria perguntar sobre uma coisa que você mencionou mais cedo.
In the bar? When I asked if you were a drinker?
Você parecia preocupada.
Sorry. I know, it's none of my business.
Não costumo beber.
It's not like I think it a failing, mind. It's just I live right across the road. Most nights I watch folks out my window. When they come in here, they might be happy or sad. Mostly they're tired. When they leave, they're mad at themselves. Or they stumble into the alley and I listen to their hearts breaking.
Você é bem sensível, né?
Am I? Well, it's just normal to me. Why isn't everybody else, I wonder?
Bora voltar pro trabalho.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble. I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along.
Tô procurando a Adelaide. Preciso de algumas respostas.
Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those.
Reed disse algo sobre ex-trabalhadores vivendo no rincão.
Yeah, that's us. And you can tell Thompson we're doing just fine by ourselves. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you.
Onde posso encontrar a Adelaide?
Over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind.
Vou sair do seu caminho.